Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtakayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 10th chapter, departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka. Text number 13 onwards. Sarve te animishara shastam anudrutta chetasaha vikshanta sne sambadha vichelus tatra tatraha. All their hearts were melting for him on the thought of attraction. They looked, they moved hither and thither in perplexity. So they means all the Hastinapur Vasis. So their hearts were melting because they were seeing Krishna going back to Dwarka, leaving them and going back. So much of affection they had for Krishna. Krishna was naturally attractive for all living beings.
Your voice is very low.
Voice is not clear?
Voice is very low.
Okay, let's see. Let's full volume. Okay, I'll try to fix it. Krishna is naturally attractive for all living beings because he is the chief eternal amongst all eternals. He alone is a maintainer of many eternals. This is stated in Katha Upanishad, and thus one can obtain permanent peace and prosperity by revival of one's eternal relation with him. Once this relation is slightly revived, the conditioned soul at once becomes freed from the illusion of material energy and becomes mad after the association of the Lord. This association is made possible not only by personal contact with the Lord, but also by the association with his name, fame, form, and quality. Srimad Bhagavatam trains the conditioned soul to this stage of perfection by submissive hearing from the pure devotee. So Srimad Bhagavatam takes us to the point of attraction for Krishna's name, fame, his pastimes, his form, his qualities. So we can also feel the same way that the Hastinapurvasis were feeling when Krishna was leaving for Dwarka. So their hearts are melting. Why? Because they had so much of attraction. They didn't want Krishna to go away. And similarly, when we go to Jagannath Puri, we see the devotees there, how much they love Jagannath. All the pandas and all the relatives, all the Jagannath Puri residents, how much they love Jagannath. You can really feel it over there. Narun dhanud galad vashp mot kantyat devaki supe niryati dharanya abhadram iti syad vandvastriyaha. The female relatives, whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna, came out of the palace. They could stop their tears only with great difficulty. They feared that the tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. There were hundreds of ladies in the palace of Hastinapura. All of them were affectionate to Krishna. All of them were relatives also. When they saw that Krishna was going away from the palace for his native place, they were very anxious for him. And as usual, tears began to roll down their cheeks. They thought at the same time that tears at that moment might be a cause of misfortune for Krishna. Therefore, they wanted to check them. This was very difficult for them because the tears could not be checked. Therefore, they smeared their tears in their eyes and their hearts throbbed. Therefore, ladies who were the wives and daughter-in-laws of those who died in the battlefield never came in direct contact with Krishna. But all of them heard of him and his great activities, and thus they thought of him, talked of him, his name, fame, etc., and became affectionate also, like those who were in direct contact. Therefore, directly or indirectly, anyone who thinks of Krishna, talks of Krishna, worships Krishna, becomes attached to him. Because Krishna is absolute, there is no difference between his name, form, quality, etc. So this is the perfection of human life actually. Developing so much of attraction and affection for Krishna that when he was leaving, or like if we have attraction for the deity of Krishna in the temple, so that deity doesn't leave, but when we leave, the feeling should be there that yes, oh, I'm going to miss him, when I'm going to see him again. That feeling should be there. But that feeling will not just come automatically. We have to work for it. And here, another important point that Sud Goswami is mentioning, the ladies who came out and they had the tears in their eyes. So it shows the simple and the affectionate and the emotional, the sentimental heart of the ladies. They had this natural tendency of affection, attraction for Krishna. It's not mentioned anywhere that the male were also crying. Of course, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he didn't like Krishna going back to Dwarka, so were all the Pandavas. But the way the ladies had the affection for Krishna, and they could show that affection for Krishna, that is very remarkable. So that's why, like Prabhupada had also mentioned some other place, it's very natural for the ladies to come into the process of bhakti because they're very simple at heart. They're ready to, they can surrender to Krishna in no time. So that is what is required. Actually, I was listening to one of the lectures by one of the sannyasis, and he was saying that we talk about men, so many men, but in ISKCON, we all are trying to be ladies. We all want to be ladies actually. Because every morning when we sing, when we do Tulsi Puja, we say, Karo Nij Dasi, you make me your maid servant, and everybody is singing that. I hope everybody is paying attention to what we are talking when we are singing Tulsi Aarti. But this is what we sing, Karo Nij Dasi, means we want to be ladies. We want to be the maid servants of Tulsi Maharani. So this is how exalted the position of ladies is. Because they have this natural tendency of surrender and service. And this is what we want. Text 15. Mridang Shank Bhairyascha Veena Panav Gomukha Dhunduryan Kadhantadya Nedur Dundu Bhayastataha. While the Lord was departing the palace of Hastinapur, different types of drums like the Mridanga, Dhol, Nagra, Dhunduri and Dundubi and flutes like the Gomukh and other instruments like Veenas and Bheris all sounded together to show him honor. Prasad Shikhara Arudha Kuru Naryo Didrikshaya Vabrishu Kusume Krishnam Prema Vrida Smitekshana. Out of a loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Kurus got up on top of the palace and smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. So, so royal ladies of Kurus got up on the top of the palace and smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord because they could not come down where Krishna was and all the male members were there. So they could not come down. So they got on the top of the palace, on the roof. Shyness is a particular extra natural beauty of the fair sex, and it commands respect from the opposite sex. This custom was observed even during the days of the Mahabharata, that is more than 5,000 years ago. It's only the less intelligent persons, not well versed in the history of the world, who say that observance of separation of female from male is an introduction of the Mohammedan period in India. So actually this observation of separation was there 5,000 years ago also. This incident from the Mahabharata period proves definitely that the ladies of the palace observed strict parda, restricted association with men, and instead of coming down in the open air, where Lord Krishna and others were assembled, the ladies of the palace went up on the top of the palace and from there paid their respects to Lord Krishna by showers of flowers. So they could not come down in the open where other men were there. It's definitely stated here that the ladies were smiling there on the top of the palace, checked by shyness. This shyness is a gift of nature to the fair sex, and it enhances their beauty and prestige, even if they are of a less important family or even if they are less attractive. And Prabhupada gives a practical example of this. We have practical experience of this fact. A sweeper woman commanded the respect of many respectable gentlemen simply by manifesting a lady's shyness. Half-naked ladies in the street do not command any respect, but a shy sweeper's wife commands respect from all. So this actually happened in, I believed in Bombay, when Prabhupada was walking by, and he was with some people, and they saw a sweeper lady sweeping the road, but she had her face covered, and she was sweeping the road. And when she saw all these men come in, she just stood on the side and let the men pass through. And this, Prabhupada said, it commanded the respect of many people who were with him, respectable gentlemen, because they saw how shy this lady is and how respectful she is. And this is what Prabhupada is commenting upon. Human civilization as conceived of by the sages of India is to help one free from the clutches of illusion. The material beauty of a woman is an illusion because actually the body is made of earth, water, fire, air, etc. But because there is the association of the living spark with the matter, it appears to be beautiful. No one is attracted by an earthen doll, even if it is most perfectly prepared to attract the attention of others. So later on, Prabhupada says, but because we are now in the darkness of ignorance, the Vedic civilization allows very restricted mixing of woman and man. They say that woman is considered to be the fire and man is considered to be the butter. The butter must melt in association with fire, and therefore they may be brought together only when it is necessary. And shyness is a check to the unrestricted mixing. It is nature's gift and it must be utilized. So one has to be very careful, that's all. But this shyness is a very natural property of the ladies, and they should maintain it, according to Prabhupada. Yeah. Sitatapatram jagraha muktadam vibhushitam ratnadandam gudakesha priya priyatamasya. At that time, Arjun, the great warrior and conqueror of sleep, who was an intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls. So just imagine the opulence at that time. Even the umbrella had the handle of jewels and it was embroidered with lace and pearls. Real pearls, not even Chinese plastic pearls. Gold, jewels, pearls, and valuable stones were used in the luxurious royal ceremonies. They're all nature's gifts and are produced by the hills, oceans, etc., by the order of the Lord. When man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. By so-called development of industrial enterprises, they are now using parts of gata parcha instead of metals like gold, silver, brass, and copper. They are using margarine instead of purified butter, and 1/4 of the city population has no shelter. So this is a gift of Industrial Revolution. And like at one place, Prabhupada also mentioned that the girls these days, instead of wearing the gold and the other jewelry, they're wearing plastic bangles. People can't even afford the real jewelry these days. Or even if they can afford, girls cannot wear it because somebody might come and steal it. So this is the civilization has come down to. But look at the civilization. It was only 5,000 years ago, not too long ago. Umbrella was made which had a handle of jewels, real jewels, and embroidered with lace and pearls. Uddhva satya keshcheva vyajane paramadvute vikire mana kusume reje madhupati pati. Uddhav and Satyaki began to fan the Lord with decorated fans, and the Lord, as a master of Madhu, seated on scattered flowers, commanded them along the road. Ashruyanta shisha satyas tatra tatra dujairataha nanu rupascha nirgunasya gunatmanaha. Here and there were heard the benedictions being paid to Krishna, which were neither befitting nor unbefitting, because they were all for the Absolute, who was now playing the part of a human being. So people who were giving benedictions to Krishna, people who were older. So Sud Goswami is saying they were neither befitting nor unbefitting. But because Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, he doesn't need anybody's benedictions. So they were not befitting his position. But at the same time, he was acting like a normal human being, and everybody had natural affection for him. So benediction they were giving, but not for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but for Krishna as a person, Krishna. So they were not unbefitting either. So at places there were sounds of Vedic benedictions coming, aiming at the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. The benedictions were fitting in the sense that the Lord was playing the part of a human being, as if a cousin or Maharaj Yudhishthira. But they were also unfitting because the Lord is absolute and has nothing to do with any kind of material relativities. He is nirguna, or there are no material qualities in him, but he is full of transcendental qualities. One example may clear this idea. Lord Shri Krishna is sometimes described as a thief. He is very famous amongst his pure devotees as the Makhan Chor. He used to steal butter from the houses of neighbors at Vrindavan in his early age. Since then, he is famous as a thief. And also in like Purushottam month, we all chanted or heard this Chor Agraganya Bhajan about Krishna. He's a topmost thief. But is he really a thief? But in spite of his being famous as a thief, he is worshipped as a thief, whereas in the mundane world, a thief is punished and is never praised. Since he is the absolute personality of Godhead, everything is applicable to him. And still, in spite of all contradiction, he is a supreme personality of Godhead. So people can call him thief, but still he is the most wonderful thief, most worshipable thief also. So in real sense, he is not even a thief. Actually, everything belongs to him. So if he has taken some little butter and yogurt from somebody's house, he's not thief because it really belonged to him. There's nothing in the whole three worlds that doesn't belong to him. Everything comes from him, everything belongs to him. So in that sense, he wasn't thief. But even if somebody calls him thief, he's a supreme person, he's the absolute personality. So everything is applicable to him. So it is still okay. He could be thief, but he is worshipable thief. So people who were giving benedictions to him, it was okay and it was not okay at the same time. Just like Yashoda Maya, she gets worried about Krishna and she tells Krishna in one pastime, that Krishna, if you don't drink milk, your hair will not grow. You will have very short hair. You will not have long curly hairs. here. So then Krishna would come and drink the milk. As if Krishna needs the milk for his hair to grow. But this is the reciprocation of love, and Krishna is ready to reciprocate in any way. Or like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was Nimai, little boy Nimai, and he was very naughty, Jagannath Mishra, his father, used to chastise him. And he would threaten him to beat him up with a stick if he doesn't behave properly. And actually some Brahmins came to Jagannath Mishra and they told him, do you know who Nimai is? He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You cannot take up your stick and try to threaten to beat him up. And Jagannath Mishra would tell them, I don't care whether he is Supreme Personality of Godhead or not, but he is my son and it's my duty to correct him. So I'll chastise him. And Nimai would love that because it was his father. So all the contradictions can happen in the absolute personality of Godhead and still it's okay. That's why it is called the supreme absolute truth. Absolute means everything can be there at the same time related to him. It could be apparent contradictions for us to look at, but from his perspective, everything is fine. People can give him benedictions and people can curse him, but it's all okay for everything. He can accept everything. Anyam asit sanjalpa uttam shloka chetasam Gaurvendra purastrinam sarvashruti manoharaha. Absorbed in the thought of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, who is glorified in select poetry, the ladies on the roofs of all the houses of Hastinapur began to talk of him. This talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. So just imagine that what the ladies are talking, and Sud Goswami is saying this talk was more attractive than the hymns or the shlokas of the Vedas. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in all the Vedic literatures, the goal is the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. Factually, the glories of the Lord are depicted in such literatures as the Vedas, Ramayana, and Mahabharata. And in Bhagavatam, they are specifically mentioned in respect to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, while the ladies on the tops of the houses in the capital of the kings of the Kuru dynasty were talking about the Lord, their talk was more pleasing than the Vedic hymns. Anything sung in the praise of the Lord is Shruti Mantra. There are songs of Thakur Narottam Das, one of the acharyas of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, composed in simple Bengali language. But Thakur Vishwanath Chakravarti, another very learned acharya of the same Sampradaya, has approved the songs by Thakur Narottam Das to be as good as the Vedic mantras. And this is so because of the subject matter. The language is immaterial, but the subject matter is important. The ladies, who were all absorbed in the thought and actions of the Lord, developed the consciousness of the Vedic wisdom by the grace of the Lord. And therefore, although such ladies might not have been very learned scholars in Sanskrit or otherwise, still, whatever they spoke was more attractive than the Vedic hymns. So this is what it is. If the devotees are talking, and this verse also comes in 5th chapter of 1st canto, when it is said, even if the songs or even if the glorification of Krishna is done in imperfect grammar, it is still very pleasing to the devotees and to the Lord. So Prabhupada is saying the ladies might not have been big scholars of Sanskrit when they're talking about the Lord. And their composition might not be as perfect as Upanishads. But since it was about Krishna and it has come from the pure devoted hearts of the ladies, it was better than the Vedic mantras. Krishna likes the essence, he likes the bhav, the mood with which the things are served. Things could be words, things could be dishes, things could be clothes, things could be anything. He likes the mood with which it is served. Many, many pastimes are there. uh, Lord Jagannath, there was one girl in her garden in Jagannath Puri. She was singing this poem, Geet Govinda, which was written by Jayadev Goswami. And Lord Jagannath heard that girl singing, although the girl wasn't singing in very beautiful poetry or rhetoric, meter and everything. But Lord Jagannath went there to listen to the poetry sung by this girl. And he was very satisfied. And when he came back, in the morning when Jagannathji was coming back to the altar, to the temple, so he was rushing because it was getting late, and his upper cloth got stuck in the flower or in the plants of that lady's or the girl's garden, and Lord Jagannath came back. So morning when the pujaris opened the door, they saw that Jagannath's upper part of cloth was missing, and Jagannathji had some scratches on his body. So pujaris were very astonished. What happened? Who came in the night here? Was locked, and doors were locked. Nobody could have come in. So Jagannathji explained to them that I went to hear this girl who was singing Geet Govinda, and I rushed in the morning, so I left my chadar there, the upper cloth over there. So all the pujaris and the king then went to this girl who was singing Geet Govinda. They called her to the temple, and Jagannathji especially told the pujaris that I want every night this girl to sing Geet Govinda to me. When I go to sleep, this girl should sing Geet Govinda prayers. So since then it has become a tradition. First that girl used to sing, and now since the girl is no more, so that it has become a tradition that Jagannathji listens to Geet Govinda every night. Of course, Geet Govinda is not composed in any simple language. It is composed by big poet Jayadev, and perfect composition it is. But this is what Jagannath's mood is. He listens to Geet Govinda. And look at the Rath Yatra time of Jagannath. From the Snan Yatra till Lord Jagannath comes back to the temple, he allows all these Daitpatis and Daitas who are descendants of Vishwavasu, who used to take care of pigs actually, that families, and Jagannathji allows them to serve him for one full month, because he loves them. He loves his devotees. And another incident about Lord Jagannath. I don't know why these days we are only thinking of Lord Jagannath only. I have no idea, because it's Jagannath's time. So one day, Ramanujacharya, he is a big acharya from South and founder of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. And he has established so many mathas, so many temples. He had given his disciples wonderful literature, great instructions about how to do deity worship. And if you go to any temple in the south, especially like Tirupati and Srirangam, other Adikeshav temple, other temples in the south, wonderful deity worship they do. It's very elaborate. And this Ramanujacharya came to Jagannath Puri, and he went to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. And he saw the pandas of Lord Jagannath, they were not worshipping him according to the rules and regulations given in the Vedic scriptures. These pandas would be chewing on tobacco and pan while they're worshipping Jagannath, and so many other things they were not doing according to the scriptures. So Ramanujacharya didn't say anything, but he came back to his place where he was staying, and he was sleeping at night, and Lord Jagannath came to his dream. And Jagannathji told Ramanujacharya that these pandas, these devotees of mine, they're very dear to me. And they worship me according to the way I want them to worship me. So what is your problem? You take your scriptures and get out of Jagannath Puri. And Jagannathji literally in the dream of Ramanujacharya, he kicked him. And Ramanujacharya, when he woke up in Kurmakshetra or Rangana, near in Sri Rangam in South India. And then he vowed, I'll now never go back to Jagannath Puri. Because Jagannath, this is what Jagannath wants. So what could Ramanujacharya do? So even if according to scriptures, they were not right, but this is what Lord Jagannath wants. And they're doing it perfectly according to Jagannath's desire. So it's perfectly fine. So, it's a relationship between the devotee and the Lord. That is most important. Of course, for people like us who are still trying to get into bhakti, is still struggling to do our Vedhi, sadhana bhakti, following the rules and regulations. It's important for us to follow the rules and regulations as laid down by the Lord and by our acharyas. But we have to understand these rules and regulations are not what attracts Krishna. We have to ultimately come to the level of bhav and prem, and that is what attracts Krishna. That prema bhakti is Sri Krishna Akarshini, according to Nectar of Devotion. That is what attracts Krishna. So yes, slowly, if we stay on this path and we make progress and we follow the rules and go much beyond that, we will come to that level. But we have to understand that is what attracts Krishna. And this is what all these ladies, when they're talking about Krishna on the top of the palaces, and this is what is attracting Krishna more than if somebody is sitting and chanting the Vedic verses. Of course, that also attracts Krishna because Vedas Vedas emanate from Krishna himself. But Krishna wants to see the emotion, the feelings, the sentiments, the love of devotees. So we'll stop here, see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have one question.
Yes, brother.
So just like the way Lord Krishna has, expanded himself for all his queens and in Vrindavan when he was having the, Ras dance. So why didn't in this case he also, have an expanded form here who will remain with the Pandavas in Hastinapur and at the same time he goes back to Dwarka? Since the devotees were very dear to him.
Well, Krishna is Swarat. One thing about Krishna is he is supremely independent. And to understand Krishna is very difficult. So we can only understand to the extent he wants us to understand. So in Bhagavatam, it is not mentioned that he expanded himself. So I don't know why he did not expand. Maybe he wanted to increase the love of the devotees of Hastinapur more.
But isn't it the case that whenever, Lord leaves Dwarka, so his form in in the palaces of queens would still be there. So the residents of Dwarka would always see him present there with them. At the same time, Lord is present at the other place with other devotees.
Well, when they're thinking about him, the Lord is there because he is non-different from the thought form also. When they're chanting the name, like when we chant name of Krishna, Krishna is there in Krishna mantra. Of course, our eyes are not conducive to see him like that. We are not pure enough to see him. So we chant the holy name.
Okay, so I'm just confused. Is it when in the Bhagavatam when it says that Lord has expanded himself? So is it mean that he has expanded himself physically, or is just like the the bhav of the devotees that they remember him and they can see his form? So which one is the case?
His presence in Vrindavan is completely different. He never leaves Vrindavan, it is said. So he was there physically, but he had hidden himself in the hearts of all the devotees.
Yeah. And same for the case for Dwarka.
Vrindavan pastime is completely different. He never leaves Vrindavan. He doesn't take a step out of Vrindavan.
Okay. I mean, same is the case for Dwarka as well.
Dwarka he leaves, but again, if the devotees are thinking about him, he's there in their hearts, in the thought. He's very much there.
Okay. Okay.
Just like when we are talking about Krishna, he's here. We cannot see him. That's the problem. It's difficult.
Okay.
I know. I know it is difficult to understand.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other question or comment? Yes, Radha Prabhu, you have something?
I don't have questions. I said thank you very much for the wonderful class today. Somehow Jagannath ji is repeatedly coming in our discussion. So he is just giving us this special mercy.
And I'm so unfortunate I won't be able to go to Jagannath Puri this year.
Yeah, this is our misfortune that we are not with you this time. Last 5-6 years you have been with us in the Rath Yatra, but this year I've been missing it very badly.
I know. I already got chastised by Rashmi this morning, so I don't know what she will do for the next 1 week or so. She'll keep on chastising me. Anyway, yes, Archana Mata, you have something to say?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mata.
Prabhuji, just a general question. If people take a loan from bank or from somebody else, take money to go to Rath Yatra, or Tirth Yatra, any yatra, to Hemkund Sahib or to Amarnath or to XYZ, how right and wrong it is? From others' money you take, उधार लेकर के आप यात्रा कर रहे हैं, you going to temples and दान दक्षिणा दे रहे हैं with the intention of not returning the money.
Acha, with the intention not returning.
Haan.
That, you didn't add that.
So, how right and wrong it is,
Well, at least the person who is lending the money, they will get the benefit of their money being utilized, and this person will get the benefit of going to Dham, but he will have a loan to pay back with interest later on, maybe this life or next life.
Just on that point, Guruji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, in South India, most of the people have, commitment. They say, I will go to Tirupati for shaving my head. I will put this much money in the hundi if I pass the exam, or some kind of, or if they achieve something big. So the custom here we follow is, especially people, they say the expenses from the time you start from home for the journey till you reach, excluding all the food and other things which you otherwise also incur, they account it, and then the rest of the money they put in the hundi. So that's one convention people follow in South.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So well, another aspect, Archana Mata, is if we want to cheat Krishna, he's the biggest cheater actually. He will cheat us like anything.
So this
And
is a cheating basically, no?
If from the very beginning we have this cheating propensity that I'll just take the money and go take darshan, but Krishna might not give darshan. He wants to see the sincerity and simplicity of the heart, not the money and not the how we came. Well, at the same time, there is a story that goes around that a thief, he somehow went to this sadhu sangha, and the sadhu said, he was describing the beauty of Krishna, and he got so much attracted to the beauty of Krishna, especially to the jewels that Krishna wears, that he went to Vrindavan to steal those jewels. His intention was to steal the jewels. But when he just sat meditating on Krishna, he got purified, then Krishna came. Then he said, forget the jewels, I got the whole Krishna, why would I want jewels? So we don't know actually. Maybe all these people who this person is borrowing the money from, maybe they owe him the money from the previous life, something like that. Who knows? So that way, maybe Krishna is fulfilling his desire. Okay, take your money and come and take my darshan. At least he's going to take darshan of Krishna. But the idea is, yes, one should be simple at heart. One should not be cheating, and then we get the real mercy of Krishna. But
Because
other
फिर
equations
सब लोग ही
also.
कर लेंगे ना. ऐसे तो everybody can do it because generally people like households, they don't have a spare money to go for a any kind of यात्रा हो रही है. दा सोचता है अच्छा ₹1,00,000 लग जाएगा कहाँ से लाएंगे and all. चलो ठीक है borrow कर लो and then हो आओ. It's a very easy way actually. Don't you think
See,
so?
many things are there, Mata. First of all, not everybody will have this desire of going to yatra. First of all, only very few. And then how many desires will be fulfilled that I'll borrow money and go? Again, very few. And then it's up to Krishna to allow them to come to Dham or not. Whether he has borrowed money, whether he has stolen money, but it is up to Krishna to allow him. Without his permission, we cannot enter. Especially that's why Shivji is there at every dham of the Kshetrapal. Without Shivji's permission, we cannot even enter that dham. So many things are there. Many factors are there. And even if a person is a cheater and if he's still allowed by Shivji and Krishna to enter dham, take darshan, so if he has really cheated some people, at least those people will get benefited. Okay, our money went in the right direction, went for the right cause. So many factors are there. It's hard for one to understand.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'll just take 2 minutes. I think we are extending another 15 minutes. It's 9:15 now over here. So just 2 minutes. We went last year to Mathura Vrindavan and we got a chance to visit Gokul. Right. So the malpractice which I have seen is while going to the Nanda Baba Mahal, the Panda who was actually coming along with us, he was just kind of indicating that if you go and enter in the Nanda Baba Mahal, the Panditji who sits there, and the Panditji was telling, like, aap jhula jhula do, or you pay for Makhan Mishri, you pay 20, something he was charging like 3,000, you pay for 250 grams. Okay. And jitni shraddha ho de do. Okay. And it's like, I heard a story that just 2 days before one Maharashtrian has come from and he has paid around 13,000. Okay, so they are paying it at times, because I faced myself also. They say, okay, at least minimum you pay 600 to at least do 600 rupees aap de do. If you can't give 3,000, something like all that. This is also a malpractice thing which shouldn't happen in dhams like this, places and all. They should stop it.
See, probably many aspects are there. Of course, I'm not in favor of any malpractice anywhere, even in ISKCON temple also. I'm not in favor of that, if it happens. But when we go to Dham, first of all, who are these Dham Vasis? Who are these Brajvasis? You are from Ayodhya, Baba. You are very respectable for us. So who are these Dham Vasis? Who even gets to take birth in a Dham like that? Not an ordinary person.
Yes.
So they have done all their punyas, all their bhakti in the previous lives, and something was left, and that's what they are there to clear it up this lifetime. This is a last birth. And after this, they're going back to the spiritual world. So they are special people appointed by Krishna.
Yes.
in Dham. Now, when they supposedly, apparently, they cheat people. So, who is allowing them to cheat people? Krishna himself. Who gets cheated? People who have done some cheating somewhere outside. They are the ones who come to Dham. And if they get cheated by, say, 100 rupees, so so many of their sins get eradicated of material world. So, and also many times people, they don't like to give donations. So Krishna likes to cheat them this way. Okay, they have to. And that's why his special agents, Krishna's special agents, especially in Vrindavan, are the monkeys. They'll come steal your chashma, steal something, and then you'll be running around giving them fruity or banana or something to give the glasses back. They're the special agents of Krishna. They're especially for people who don't like to give donations. So yes, I'm not in favor of getting money like that, but we have to understand the position of Brajvasis, and especially Dhamvasi. Even if you go to Jagannath Puri, you'll meet Pandas like that. I'm pretty sure, I haven't been to Ayodhya, but I'm pretty sure if I go to Ayodhya, I'll meet Pandas like that.
Yes,
It's everywhere. But who are these? We have to understand philosophically. They're not ordinary people. So what Prabhupada's technique was, he said you cannot be offensive to Brajvasis, but at the same time don't get cheated. So we have to be careful. We have to be very careful. That's all. And if you get cheated, just leave it there, forget it, that's it.
Prabhuji, we are the people who are allowing this. So my dad has an experience in Tirupati. He went to Tirupati. There's nothing like that. I mean, it's just people on the queue, whatever they want, like Raghu Prabhuji has just explained. Whatever is your wish, you put that in the hundi. Also had done,
sure,
and he was so happy with it. The way he.
I'm pretty sure Raghu Prabhu can explain better because I am not that much aware of Tirupati practices.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they are very disciplined in terms of no other cash here and there. You pay for the darshan ticket and go straight, have darshan. Whatever you want, you can put in the hundi. But however, the hundi amount, how they are accounting, sometimes is questionable. It's going into a lot of debate these days. They say, the government is taking it for welfare measures, non-Hindu welfare measures. Should it go there? So it's all, going into political angle. But then, yes, from our side, whatever we are offering is going into the God. And how Krishna is diverting that money to help which community, which society, apart from developing the temple and the surroundings, it's up to Krishna how he utilizes that money. But from our side, it is going very straight into the hundi, yes.
Well, Tirupati Balaji is very simple and straightforward. But Krishna Braj is he's bent at three places. What can we do?
Yeah, of course. Another thing is the salaries of all the archaks and all the committee members and the society there is very well taken care of. So they don't need any extra money. Probably that is missing in other places. So they tend to take these things.
Yeah, and Tirupati Balaji is one temple. And Braj, there are so many places, so many different temples. So it's different. We cannot compare. But yes, it's good that there is so much of discipline in Tirupati. But what can you do?
Yeah.
We have eaten up so much of time, Prabhuji. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Okay, you have something else to say. But thank you, Mata. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.